See that? Yeah. So this is my Mathews Traverse right here. I've got the Sitka elevated 2 limbs and I've got the stone riser, and this bad boy looks amazing. 33-inch axle to axle, 6 5/8" brace height. IBO on it is 338. You can get the draw length from 26.5 all the way up to 32.5. 75% let off or 85% let off. Retail price is $10.99. Most shops you're gonna find it for right around $1,000. Let's find out. Jocelyn! You can't sing while I'm trying to record! Let's go take some shots. So watch for the consistency in the draw cycle. Smooth all the way back until it clicks right into that valley. Pulling nice and strong against that back wall. Back wall feels super stiff. Shot cracks off with no effort. We're gonna go through the good, the bad, and the ugly of the bow. Let's talk about the good to start. This thing is smooth like butter. Better than any Mathews bow that I've ever shot. I started with the Chill, I went to the Halon, I had a Triax, and now I've got the Traverse. It's by far the smoothest bow that I've ever had. The drop into the valley is almost completely unnoticeable. As you start to get that thing back right before the valley hits, it just... So the Traverse has the tried and true cross-centric cams. They started on the Halon, the Triax used them, and now the Traverse has them as well. So I noticed last year with my Triax that almost immediately I started to get paint damage from the limb action. And so far I've probably put 3,000 rounds through this. Do they call it rounds? Is it rounds? Sticks? I put 3,000 sticks through this? I think that's what we'll say. I've shot 3,000 sticks through this so far, and I've not had any paint damage. I have to set it down on the ground sometimes, on a hook at my range that doesn't have any rubber on it, and so far, no real issues. Now, I'm not abusing it, I'm not being crazy with it, but overall, the finish is better this year so far than what I've noticed in the past. It's freaking gorgeous. I mean, you saw the pictures at the beginning. The thing is stinking beautiful. So let's talk about the new grip. The Engage grip, new for 2019 on the Vertix, the TX5, and the Traverse. It's so much better. Mathews, thank you for changing it. The other flatback grip was so crappy that there were literally companies born out of replacing the crappy grips on Mathews bows, which is ridiculous, and I feel bad for them because now they're gonna go out of business because the Engage grip is unbelievable. It's got this light, stiff rubber coating around it. It's not a spongy rubber, it's still really good and firm, but there's texture on the grip. The throat is narrow, and the way they cut the bow this year, you see that right there? That's designed so that when you grip this thing, depending on your grip, you can literally drop your thumb all the way up into this thing. You can just right underneath the riser right there. Right underneath the arrow rest. I can't say enough about the grip. I could literally go on for another 5 minutes. It was everyone's biggest complaint other than the zebra strings. The zebra strings no one seems to like either. The change in the grip has made such a huge difference in the consistency of how I'm shooting and the forgiveness. So good, Mathews. So good. Don't change it. Don't change it. I'm sure you can tweak it and make it better. 99% of the time, we're gonna be standing in front of a target with the bow. So the smooth draw, the drop into the valley that's not this big abrupt thing. When you let that shot go, that shot just snaps off and the arrow flies down range. The shooting experience is like no other bow I've had. The Halon was super close. I'm 6'3", so the triax for me was just way too short. I was very effective with it. Shooting it out of a ground blind was amazing, but I like the longer axle to axle. All right, so let's talk about the bad, because you know that there's gonna be some stuff that I don't like. It's so heavy. Ugh. 4.7 pounds. Okay, the RX1 from Hoyt is almost a pound lighter. So you're getting a 20% lighter bow if you go with the Hoyt. However, the retail price on the Traverse is $1,099. Retail value for the RX1, $1,850. Kind of a big difference. The other thing I don't like about this bow, it's not as fast as the other bows. Everybody kind of talks about speed and the bowtech shooting 325 confirmed and Hoyt shooting 14,050. How much do you need to kill what you're going after? Literally out of the thousands of shots that I'm gonna take all year long, I want a bow that is comfortable for me to shoot at the targets and is going to absolutely be effective against the game that I'm hunting. I've got 70-pound limbs on this. If you're going after something bigger, you're gonna go after water buffalo, you're gonna go after mammoths, Tyrannosaurus rex, bald eagles. Go with Hoyt, who is now stock coming with an 80-pound limb. I don't wanna draw 80 pounds day after day after day. I've got my target bow set up at 60. It's so comfortable, I can shoot it all day long. 70 pounds, after 100 shots, I'm fatigued, I'm done. My form is starting to break down. So for me to move up to an 80-pound bow, unless I'm going after a game that specifically requires me to do that, I'm probably just gonna be sticking with 70 pounds. All right, we're gonna go to the range and we're gonna do some chronographing. I'm bringing a Black Eagle X Impact 350 spine, Black Eagle Spartan 300 spine with a 100 grain tip, Gold Tip Hunter XL 340 spine with a 100 grain tip, an Easton FMJ 340 spine with a 100 grain tip, and I'm also bringing an Easton FMJ 300 spine with a 125 grain tip and a nocturnal.
X Impact 350. 376. Spartan, we got that 300 spine, 436.2 grains. Gold Tip Hunter XD 340. We have 400. Full metal jacket, 340 spine, 470.6. Full metal jacket, 300, 525.6 grains.
I changed my mind. After doing the chrono test, I actually think it's pretty much as fast as all the other bows that have come out this year. I got home and I started watching a bunch of videos and everyone's shooting right around the same. Now I'll say the bowtech looks like it's the fastest out of all of them by maybe 10 feet per second, so 3%. I think I'm taking the speed of the bow out of the negative section and into the neutral section because it competes with the other bows. I'm impressed. Good job, Mathews. Good job. If you've ever been in a tree stand when it's been 10 degrees outside, and then had a deer come in and then grabbed your aluminum risered bow with your bare hands, you know my next complaint. The aluminum is cold. You grab that thing with your hand and your body immediately has a reaction like, stop doing what you're doing. Like take that hand and put it back in your pocket, put it back in your glove. One of the things that I noticed about the bow is it's a little top heavy. Basically, I had to add more weight to the front of my frontline stabilizer than I thought I was going to have to, but I was pretty well able to get it to balance out. It's still a little on the top heavy side. I'm not gonna call this a complaint, but it was something that kind of surprised me as I first started to shoot it. The valley is so short that if you're not really into that back wall, it may surprise you and start to get you to go forward. So that's something that you've got to be prepared for when you're shooting the Traverse. You got to make sure that you're good and firm into that back wall. The nice part about that is it's going to create discipline because, again, you're not going to get away with it as much as you would with the Halon or with the triax. And then my last complaint is the top hat system from Mathews. You got to have a bow press to work on it. It's a little complicated. I don't know. But then I look at the way the cables on the Hoyts mount on the outside of the limbs, and I always just imagine walking through sticks and just getting the cables hooked on those and ripping them off. So I guess when the alternative is that versus the top hats, I'd probably take the top hats to keep the cables inside. Obviously, I think the worst part of these though is the zebra strings. Everybody complains about these all the time. I'm sure that they probably have some sort of contract with Zebra. I mean, they're fine for a while. I probably started to see variation and peep rotation probably after 1,000 shots. That's not that long for me though. I'm shooting 100 arrows a day, so that's a half a month. And then I'm ready to get a new string on here. So I'll let you guys know what I end up going with. I'm gonna do some more research. So when I started out the year, I was fully ready to buy a different brand bow. I'd been shooting Mathews for the last 4 years, and I went and tried Hoyt, I tried Elite, I tried PSE, bowtech, Bear, and then I shot the Mathews. To be honest, when I started out, I thought the Vertix was gonna be the bow that I was gonna go home with. I guarantee this, I'm never going to drop below a 32-inch axle-to-axle bow unless there's some sort of weird new magic that comes out with bows again. This just fits me. With the tri-axe, I was having to squish my neck down and pop it over like some sort of awkward dance move. I knew the 28-inch tri-axe was too short. I really hoped the 30-inch Vertix was gonna work. I was so excited about the ability to change the mods on the cams so that I could shoot at 60 pounds throughout the season and then swap up to 75 pounds when I actually was hunting. So that way I was, you know, taking it easy on my body. I wasn't working my shoulder too much. The idea of being able to do that was really appealing. So I went to 2 different shops and I shot the Vertix probably 10 times more than I shot the Traverse. But literally when I picked up the Traverse and I started putting arrows down range, it just clicked. It just instantly felt like the bow that I wanted to shoot. I bet I shot it 10 times, I put it down, I told the shop owner that that was most likely the one that I was gonna go home with. Went and got some food, really thought about it for a while, made sure that that was exactly what I wanted, came back to the shop, and then I ordered the one that I've got now. The truth is, if you buy any of the flagship bows from any of the manufacturers this year, you have a freaking awesome bow. The tool that you have decided to take into the woods this year is so much better than the technology from 10 years ago that you just be content and be happy with exactly what you have. In all honesty, I've got the best bow for me. I hope that helped. I hope you guys liked the review, and I'm gonna be working on a bunch of videos this year, so subscribe to the channel, hit the like button if you want. I'm Brandon with RBM Archery, and thanks for watching.